beginning of next month. Brad Penny had talked to him. It's going to be a while. And I really think Kyle Loesch will be on the mound for St. Louis ahead of Brad Penny. And it keeps on coming as Stavino is put on the disabled list. Alan Craig is back up here, and Ottavino goes under the knife.
Well, let's take a look, too, at what also needs to continue from the first half, and that means pitching with the big three. Wainwright, of course, Carpenter, and Jaime Garcia.
They've been outstanding. The only disappointing thing is the Cardinals as a team have allowed 12 times this trio to lose ball games with very, very good pitching. That will not continue because I think the offense is really starting to heat up. And a lot of that starts with Holiday. He's been on a tear of late. Albert, by his own admission, his batting average is down. His power numbers are there, and they will improve. But I think when those two get hot, then the younger players relax a little bit, and the offense will come together.
So a final thought, what do you think that this team can do now in the second half?
I think with all the things that have gone wrong, that I think that from right now, they're going to say, this is the second half. We're going to be in a sprint now. And you go out there and you know you have to play better defense, more consistent offense, and continue the very good pitching.
When we come back, we'll talk about that very good pitching. It begins here tonight. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers, and for St. Louis, one of the aces, one of the big three, and that's Chris Carpenter. Back with more in just a moment. for the Dodgers and Phillies.
No doubt about it. This is a very important homestand against two very good clubs. Then you go on the road to Chicago. Doesn't matter where they are in the standings. That will be telling. The Mets are playing very good baseball, and you close out with the Pirates. Cardinals have the second easiest schedule in the National League Central. But the team that has the easiest is the Cincinnati Reds.
So it begins tonight with the LA Dodgers. First pitch just around the corner, coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Place in their respective divisions square off to start the second half. It's Joe Torre and the Dodgers. And, of course, there's Manny Ramirez fans everywhere, including St. Louis. Manny and the Dodgers come into play just 2 games out in the West. Ryan Ludwig in St. Louis trying to get healthier and better for a stretch run. Andre Ethier, Tony La Russa, some of the biggest names in the game. Baseball is coming up. full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Chick, life needs flavor. By Chevy's Expert Auto Service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by the Casino Queen Hotel and Casino, home of the Lucy's Slots. Despite the heat, another big crowd expected tonight here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And this all-important 8-game homestand to begin the second half begins tonight. With Joe Torre and the Dodgers in town, tight races among baseball across the map. It doesn't matter where you look. Of course, here with the St. Louis Cardinals, they're 1 game back of Cincinnati. But outside of St. Louis and Cincinnati, Al, what race really intrigues you?
Well, I think the East is intriguing. The West is very intriguing in the National League. And I don't pay any attention to the American League until we play them in the World Series.
American League East, Tampa Bay, 2 games out. Boston is 5 out despite all their injuries in that first half of play. Let's take a look at the Dodgers lineup. And Los Angeles beginning 2 games back of San Diego. For Kyle, the switch hitter, then Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, Manny Ramirez, James Loney, Casey Blake, Russell Martin, Blake DeWitt, and Clayton Kershaw. That's presented by Sprint. And Chris Carpenter's hit a little bit of a bump in the road last couple of starts, trying to change that tonight. His numbers presented by Marshall Wireless Sprint.
Well, that's right. He's lost 2 in a row, and he has not won in his last 3 decisions. But he's 9-3 on the year, ERA a little over 3. Adam Wainwright was making the point that he feels like he's the worst pitcher in baseball with those good numbers. He's that much of a perfectionist.
Brendan Ryan is at shortstop tonight against his boyhood team that he grew up cheering for. And Ryan getting a start here in the second half. You know he'd like to turn things around. And Yadier Molina, Chris Carpenter round out the Dobbs defense. Brendan hit 194 in the first half.
One of the keys is getting for call out.
He's always been a good player.
Well, he's been a very good player, and he's been one of the best players when hitting against St. Louis Cardinal pitching. Second best of any active player.
Switch hitter takes a ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. For Kyle with a very good bat speed, has a cannon for an arm and good range at shortstop. Came back to the Dodgers final minutes of when he was going to sign a contract to go back to Atlanta, and wound up with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And there's his numbers against St. Louis. 345, couple of home runs.
344 when he bats from the left-hand side.
He's that curveball.
It's always a threat to steal when he's on base, but Molina neutralizes that for the most part.
Night like tonight, Chris Carpenter be working up a sweat. He sweats anyway, but hot, muggy here in St. Louis, he'll be drenched.
Of course, these Dodgers had a 2 o'clock workout in the heat, but they really have a hard time, especially when you play so many games on the West Coast, the cooler weather, and then you come to the Midwest and play in this type of heat. It is draining.
92 degrees game time temperature as for Kyle is making Carpenter work here in this first at bat of the ball game.
Carpenter, a lot has been made about that line drive. He took off his pitching forearm, and he has not won since that time. But he did go 7 innings in that start against Arizona. He has not used that as an excuse. Matter of fact, he said he's 100% fine. But a couple different times this season, he's had problems with his mechanics and throwing his curveball.
6 pitches already in this leadoff at bat. And a 3-2. For Kyle, caught looking. First out of the game is a strikeout.
Like a generous pitch at the top of the strike zone. Well, really on the black.
First time in 10+ years, National League will have home field advantage in the World Series.
14 years? 96, something like that.
Adam Wainwright had a scoreless inning and struck out Torrey Hunter in the game. He was really the face of the All-Star game in his town of Anaheim. Chris Carpenter did not pitch. That's why he gets the opening assignment tonight.
It's one of those things I'm sure Tony La Russa wants all of his players to participate, especially the pitchers, but then is thankful when a starting pitcher does not get that opportunity because he can start the first game of the series.
Molina got a base hit in the ball game. Of course, Pujols also started. Matt Holliday, key base hit in the rally for the National League. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And that's hit out of play. Chris Carpenter won his 126th career game at Toronto. That was back on June 23rd. And he currently ranks 10th among Cardinals all-time pitchers, over 800 strikeouts, 46 behind the cat, Harry Burkeen. Ranks 9th at 857. Curveball lifted into center. That will carry back all the way to the track.
It's surprising. That may be an indication with this tremendous heat here and a heat index in the triple figures that the ball will really carry. This is a very fair ballpark, but obviously when it's hotter, high humidity, the ball travels better.
Well, you always talk about teams trying to get healthy. We mentioned that moments ago with the Cardinals during our open. The same can be said for the Dodgers, and they get Manny Ramirez, who's on deck, back tonight, active and off the DL. They placed reserve outfielder Reed Johnson on the disabled list, dealing with a back issue, and Ramirez had been out with a right hamstring injury, suffered back on June 29th at San Francisco.
Many times you put your third place hitter as your best hitter on the team, and no one's going to argue with Ethier's numbers.
Here's a grounder, and Pujols has it. Good start for Carpenter. Strikeout for Kyle. Fly out by Kemp, and the ground out by Andre Ethier. No score after a half inning. Bottom of the first here at Busch Stadium, and there's no score. Glad you're with us here on Fox Sports Midwest. Look at Tony's lineup tonight. Felipe Lopez at third base again. Colby Rasmus, then Albert Pujols. Matt Holliday, Alan Craig, just recalled. Yadier Molina, Aaron Miles, Chris Carpenter, and Brendan Ryan. This guy's been very good against the Cardinals. Clayton Kershaw, those are his season numbers. He's 2-0 with a 2.27 ERA in 5 career starts against the Redbirds. And even better here at this ballpark, in 2 starts at Busch Stadium, .60 ERA.
Yeah, and he is a really strikeout master. He's tied for second in the National League in strikeouts. He does walk a bunch, but gives up very few hits. His last time out, he struck out 12 Cubbies. and he is only 22 years of age. I was looking at the entire Cardinal roster. No one has hit a home run off of him, as he gives up like half a home run to start.
Now Kershaw and Carpenter both have been looking at the mound, and he's been playing there with the landing area. And we saw that Carpenter caught his cleat on the mound earlier.
Well, we had no problem after the concert, and it sure looks like it's firm, but a few of his first pitches were in the dirt.
Remember when we came back after the concert, the Eagles concert here at Busch Stadium, there were brown patches in the outfield, beat up a little bit, and it looks gorgeous here tonight as we return for the second half.
We talked about he will walk. He's fourth in the National League in walks allowed, so take advantage. And, you know, Bill Finley and his crew did a phenomenal job. They worked 48 straight hours trying to recover from the concert. And remember, there was, you know, like 72 hours we were playing baseball in this field. So they had a chance to resod certain areas during the All-Star break.
Kershaw and Russell Martin, the battery tonight. That's presented by Dobbs. Around the horn. Leadoff walk to Lopez. That pitch taken inside by Colby Rasmus. And if you go back to the playoffs last year, it was Colby Rasmus against the lefties. Randy Wolf, Kershaw, that really hit pretty well.
He was very good in that playoff. Probably the best Cardinal hitter. And this lineup has a few surprises, but it's because of what they've done against Kershaw that you find Ryan and Miles in there.
1 ball, 1 strike. Kershaw throws in the mid-90s and a very, very good breaking ball.
Made his major league debut against the Cardinals out in L.A. That was last season and pitched 8 shutout innings.
Short lead at first. And that's a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Tough break. Stavinoa goes on the disabled list. In Houston, he had that diving play in right field and slight separation of his shoulder. But what an opportunity for Alan Craig.
And Craig has been hitting very well. Matter of fact, despite having 20 games fewer this year, his 35 RBIs in June, 65 RBIs, second in the PCL.
And it's I believe in 67 games, 65 RBIs. So, you know, they made the right choice when he broke with the club, but he needed to go back and play every day.
Check on Lopez. John Jay had a very good road trip for the Cardinals. Here's a look at Alan Craig. We've seen that Tony does that a number of times. When you get that recall or making a debut, he doesn't want you sitting around thinking about it. He puts you right in the lineup.
It's kind of out of necessity with the left-hander on the mound.
2-2 pitch.
Russell Martin has 4 pickoffs in the last few weeks. It's a big part of his game. Former Gold Glove winner, but by no means is he the same caliber of catcher as Molina.
Count is full. Albert Pujols on deck.
On Copa, St. Louis, umpiring over at first base. He's joined this crew for the weekend.
And it's back-to-back walks to start the night for the Cardinals. We turn to our keys to the game on Mr. Kershaw, presented by Toyota. And this is on the road this year. He's 4-2, 2.61 ERA, high strikeouts, opponents, and the run support. See what he's done there, but the run support close to 7 runs a game.
It is not unusual for some starting pitchers to struggle in their first start after the All-Star break, particularly on game 1. You know, you're a creature of habit. You get away from the ballpark. You get away from your throwing routine for those 2 or 3 days during the All-Star break. And if you're going to get him, you want to get him early before they find their groove. And the Cardinals are very good when they score first.
So 2 on, nobody out. Here's Pujols. 21 first half home runs. He has driven in 64. And certainly here in the middle of July, a legitimate shot at the Triple Crown. We have seen him hit well, but not Albert-like. That's saying something.
Home runs and RBIs are fine. Average is down considerably, but still in the top 10. Batting average.
Look at that career second half 342 hitter. Slugging percentage at 634.
And I think because of that, Albert says, you know, hey, I've got a legitimate shot to possibly have my best season ever. And I'm motivated to improve.
And this has been the year of the pitcher in baseball. Very good young starters like Kershaw here. Pitching's been unbelievable.
And Dan, it's a long season. And you're going to find there's going to be a lot of young pitchers that are going to look ahead in the second half and say, look what kind of season I'm having. Boy, I can negotiate this kind of money, and their season's going to fall apart.
There's a rope, a pulled foul by Pujols. But you can't be like that, as you well know. I mean, you have to concentrate all the way through, and Pujols has made that a point with young players and talking with minor leaguers as he does so in spring training. I've talked to John Mozeliak about it. And John will tell you that one of his points of emphasis is that it is a long year. And you've got to grind through those 6 months.
And speaking of John Mozeliak, congratulations. Signed a 3-year contract extension. General manager of the Cardinals.
2-2.
Continuity is a big, big thing. I think Albert's trying to say he was hit by the pitch. With a smile.
Mo has been a 15-year vet of the Cardinals front office.
That foot just lifts it up ever so slightly, puts it almost right back down, and no, he was not hit.
I want to see him swing the bat. I don't know about you.
Well, I think he's now. Look at see now Tony came out because he was trying to do a salesman job on Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire, that he was hit by that pitch. But you're right. We'll take our chances with him swinging the bat.
Count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 on here in the first. And Pujols hits it just foul.
But Dan, now if teams walk Albert Pujols, you say so be it. You don't mind it. You know, you prefer to see Albert swing. But if you walk it and load up the bases for Holiday the way he's swinging the bat, you'll take it any time.
John Mozeliak will, of course, with that 3-year extension, have one of the most important issues facing this franchise in its history, and that's at the plate, Albert Pujols.
And it's Bill DeWitt was quoted as saying, you know, as people were wondering, was there a possibility of trading Albert? And he was emphatic to saying no.
Little bloop in the right, that'll get down. And the bases will be loaded. Ball is bobbled, but back in. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the first for Matt Holliday.
It's always important to put the ball in play. Because you put the ball in play, even when you are trying to stop your swing, you have the potential of something good happening. Strikeouts, there's nothing good that happens from that. Put the ball in play, and good things can happen. And here's what we were talking about. Holiday red hot. You love to see him. See what he's done with the bases loaded. He's been swinging the bat, and long balls have been jumping out that bat.
First pitch is strike. So if you're just joining us, back-to-back walks. Felipe Lopez, Colby Rasmus. The line drive, little blue pit off the bat of Albert Pujols into right. And now 0-1 the count with nobody out, bases loaded on Holiday. One of the things we've been waiting for too, and now we're getting about a year with this, Holiday and Pujols exploding in the same game. It just doesn't seem like that's been the case either for an extended period.
My theory is that the big boys swing the bat and they produce, then everything else around them relaxes. Pressure is taken off the younger players, and good results. When they don't swing the bat, then the young guys panic. and feel like they have to do more than they're really capable at this stage of their career.
And see if Holiday can't take some of that pressure off here.
And there's no doubt that these guys, when the numbers are all said and done at the end of the year, that we're going to like them.
Broken bat, step on the bag, and throw is wide. Safe at first is Holiday. Blake DeWitt was able to get to the ball off balance, step on the bag, but then the wide throw to first, and Felipe scores the first run of the ball game.
It should have obviously have been a double play. He had more time. He could have taken more direct approach, get himself under control, and really made a better throw. Here he's totally off balance. The ball sails on him, does not complete the double play. The Cardinals jump out to a lead, an RBI. Fielder's choice for Holiday, his 52nd RBI.
Runners at the corners for Craig. Alan Craig back on June 27th at Albuquerque, which is the Dodgers AAA affiliate, went 3 for 5, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. Matter of fact, he's had 10 games with 3 RBIs or more.
Cardinals minor league player of the year last year. Never had a non-starting, and it was obvious, and going 1 for 19 at the beginning of the season, that he just had never exposed coming off the bench. So the best thing was to send him down. All of a sudden he showed you what potential is when he plays every day, and unfortunately with Stavanola being hurt, he'll get an opportunity probably to platoon with Jay, who's been outstanding.
That's pulled foul. I brought up those numbers with the Dodgers, and we always talk about video. Undoubtedly they have scouting reports and video here on Alan Craig.
Everybody's got their Joe Torre, and I'm sure his video crew know enough about Alan Craig, or like you say, what they can, AAA manager can tell them about this kid. You got to remember, when you're playing in Albuquerque, that is like the launching pad there.
0-2, he reaches for it, slowly hit. Out at second, no play at first, scores a run to make it 2-0.
His first Major League RBI. Once again, you don't always have to get RBIs by base hits. Put the ball in play, reaching for it, but he has the good fortune to get it over the pitcher's head. It's not hit hard enough. They can't turn 2. They can't even complete the throw. And the Cardinals, really, without hitting the ball hard, they already have 2 runs.
They have made Kershaw work as well. 25 pitches here in the first inning. Yadier Molina, the hitter.
Throws the bat out here and then steps on it. Boy, wouldn't that be a funny way to hurt yourself?
Or to lose an RBI.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
1-0 pitch here to Molina. Said it's the start of a new season for him here in the beginning of the second half.
That's really how he and Brendan Ryan, guys like that, really have to look at it. It's like, okay, forget everything what happened the first half. Just start your season over anew and just take off. Don't factor in the problems you've had in the first half. You know what? If your ball club wins, so what? If you're down a little bit in average, you're still contributing.
2 outs and a runner at first. 1 ball, 1 strike. Highest winning percentage when scoring first this season. Redbirds come in at 33-9, just back of the Yankees and the Phillies. It's a ball late we have seen him swinging at. That pitch that ends up at the back of his right leg, that foot. And he's been chasing pitches and striking out a lot more this year than we've ever seen him.
Sometimes that happens when you're down in your numbers, and all of a sudden you try to You know, you're trying to hit a 7-run home run, or you're trying to get 6 base hits a night when you're only having 4 plate appearances. You try to go out of your comfort zone and you just mess yourself up.
2-2. Taken a little bit low. We saw earlier on Furcal the high strike. That may be the case tonight.
Right on the black. Down and in, but remember, he walked a couple guys, and that kind of sends a message to the umpire that he's not throwing strikes.
That's driven into right center. And on the move, making the catch, Andre Ethier. Takes a hit and RBI away. Carpenter has been given a 2-run lead. The most intimidating pitcher: Bob Gibson, Don Drysdale, Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson. Text intimidate A, B, C, or D to 432-432. It's pretty good choices.
Bob's probably sitting at home feeling insulted. He was such a nice guy. How could anybody think I was intimidated? But he's your clear-cut winner. Drysdale was tough. No, Gibson. Gibson all the way. Drysdale was mean. Bob was intimidating, mean, and I mean this. You know what.
Now, what if we were in L.A.? They'd say Drysdale, right?
They may say Gibson too. You talk to the players. Nolan Ryan and Randy Johnson. No, they're great pitchers. Hall of Famer and a future Hall of Famer, but they don't fit the first two.
Carpenter is modern day players and pitchers. He'd be up there, right, Carpenter?
One of the highest compliments I can pay Carpenter.
Manny Ramirez into right, Alan Craig over to make the catch.
And I've said this before, that he is Gibson-like. And I mean that as just a fierce competitor.
Back by popular demand for the second time in the 2010 season, starting with this ball game tonight. For every Cardinals win during this homestand, fans can take $5 off Lowe's box seats for any Monday through Thursday game in the month of August. And this could lead to a discount as high as $35, meaning free tickets. Stay tuned. Root on for the Cardinals to win. Take $5 off these games in this homestand. For more information, visit Cardinals.com.
Yeah, we did that one time earlier in the season, and I think the Cardinals had one of the most successful homestands, and really, I think those tickets got down to what, $5?
Same thing with last year, too.
talking about how Carpenter is not 1-3 starts. He's lost his last 2. He has not had the same type of command where a lot of pitches have been in the middle of the plate. His cutter has not been as consistent, or the curveball at times, and that's led to a lot more home runs this year. But you know, like Wainwright was talking about it, I heard him saying he's 9-3. His ERA is 3.2, and he thinks he's the worst pitcher in baseball. That, you know, he just is that competitive that he just feels like he's been letting his team down.
0-2 pitch and a ground ball to second. Handled easily. 2 outs. Happy 54th birthday to Butch Lee, who's watching tonight, as well as Bill McKenzie celebrating his 55th. Happy birthday to Bill McKenzie and Butch Lee.
And we got a very, very special friend of the Cardinals, and you know, George Sylvie. George Sylvie is 99 years young today. As a young lady, 94. But George was the director of scouting for the Cardinals when I signed, a former minor league player. George worked over 50 years for the Cardinals. George and his wife Dorothy have been married for 70 years. And I see his son Jim and George at the 1-2-3 Club, still going strong. But boy, he could tell you some stories about the Cardinal minor leagues and all the different players that George Sylvie signed. So happy birthday, George.
Here's Casey Blake hitting .259, 9 homers, and he's driven in 36. And a strike at the knees. What do the folks in Cleveland think when they see all these players contributing to other teams like Casey Blake? And Blake hits it a ton out to left. Spinning around Holiday, but he's got it. And they'll make the catch. Good start for Carpenter. Good and never good on a hot night here in St. Louis. 92 degrees our game time temperature. Blistering hot this afternoon here in St. Louis. And the Cardinals have a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the second. Tony West providing that shot for us. He's all over the ballpark, all over the city. Aaron Miles, switch hitter. Average at 314, no homers, 2 RBIs.
He's 3 for 6 off of this southpaw. Batting .500, 4 for 8 from the right side this season. He's hit well in all of his starts.
Up the middle, off of Kershaw, and a base hit in the left.
Like I got him on the shin. And, you know, Joe Torre and Rick Honeycutt are very concerned. As ball right through the middle, right above the ankle maybe. He'll walk it off and he'll be fine.
We have another happy birthday. He's watching in the Ozarks tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. Bob Smirker. He's 82. He goes by the name of Woodsy. Woodsy is 82 years young. And happy birthday to Woodsy. I know his daughter Sharon Bodeker is awfully proud of Big Dad Bob Smirker. Happy birthday. Bunting situation here with Chris Carpenter, who has looked sharp now in the first 2 innings.
Sure has. They've hit a couple balls, but hard, that have been right at someone, but been flawless the first 2 innings, and he can help himself with a bunt.
Think about some of the names that have gotten away from the Cleveland Indians. The big ones are easy. Cliff Lee, CC Sabathia, Casey Blake down at third. How about Manny Ramirez? People forget he began his career with Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland, very, very successful farm system over the years, developed an awful lot of major league talent. They're going through their dry spell now. But you go back 30, 40 years, and there's an awful lot of major leaguers that came through there.
Just a couple of years ago, they're 1 win away from going to the World Series.
When they moved into their new ballpark, what they set a record, almost 500 consecutive sellouts.
455, I believe. Consecutive sold-out games. And now tells you how quickly things can turn. They're at the very bottom of attendance in the American League.
Yes. Still a relatively new ballpark.
See Kershaw not happy with his strike zone so far. 2 balls, no strikes on Chris Carpenter.
See Russell Martin kind of lobbying for his pitcher with the home plate umpire. And Jerry Davis, the former St. Louisan and now lives in Wisconsin, saying, I know how to do my job. He's the crew chief, too.
Carpenter may get those calls. He's been around a while. Clayton Kershaw. Hey, as you well know, Al, it's part of the game. You pay your dues.
You have to pay your dues. You got to earn it. And I think the umpires are better in the sense that at times they used to really do challenge young players. And they made life tough on him just to see how they handled it. Would that player be a hothead? Would he be a troublemaker? I don't think it was right, but they kind of, in their own mind, they said, you know, we're gonna teach you how to do it the right way here. That we're the boss, and that's not the case.
3-2.
They're an independent arbitrator, aren't they? There's Gibson, Greg Gibson. He's had a run-in with Tony La Russa. You know, Tony, when he first came up, really was a thorn in the umpire's side. I mean, he was argued everything.
Bunted at first, and Loney decided to pick it up. He may have made a mistake. That looked like it was going to roll foul. It was bunted very hard, but this may have gone foul.
You're talking about deadening the ball, just letting the ball come to your bat, and then with the soft hands, once it makes contact, then the deadening sensation. But you've got to get your bat out in fair territory. Hit it awfully hard, and with Kershaw, whose control can be a little off, maybe the Dodgers felt it was more important to take the sure out, but he got the job done.
Here's Brendan Ryan, who takes the ball upstairs.
Now watch, you know, when you talk about, almost imagine you've got a glove at the end of the bat, and you just put your glove out there and just catch the ball. It's always important to kind of have that bat angle, one, out in fair territory. Two, a lot of times you want to maybe a little bit the barrel higher so you can bunt it down on the ball. And also a key is to have the knees flexed so you can go up and down. But got the job done. It's 5th sacrifice of the year. Another man out in scoring position with 1 out. And as I said, Brendan Ryan. I went up to Brendan today and just said, Brendan, it's a new season. It starts today. Now start having fun.
1 out and a runner at second. The 2-0 pitch is hit out to left. Ramirez back to make the catch. And in his own unique way, gets it back into the infield.
Pretty casual on that. As that ball, one of the better line drives off the bat of Brendan Ryan we've seen for a while. And of course, it would have been nice if it had been rewarded. He just glides back on it. Almost acts as if he lost in the lights or didn't quite see it. But man, he's always been an adventure defensively.
It's putting it mildly. Here's Felipe Lopez. But when you can hit, they'll find a spot for you, and he can flat out hit. Lopez into shallow right. Sliding catch, and that takes the hit and RBI away. And a fine play by Andre Ethier. 2-0 St. Louis. Fox Sports Midwest welcomes the all-star musical Damn Yankees to the Muni at Forest Park. Make plans to check it out at Forest Park through Sunday. It's Damn Yankees at the Muni. For tickets, visit muni.org. Our buddy Tony West at it again. Some of those youngsters trying to cool off on a hot night here in St. Louis. Carpenter perfect through the first couple of innings. Top of the third rolls in. And this will be Russell Martin, followed by Blake DeWitt and then Clayton Kershaw. Couple of hops to second, handled easily. 1 away.
Make it look easy. This is what we're accustomed to seeing from Carpenter, who has the Cardinals' all-time best winning percentage of a starter with over 100 starts. And usually when he toes the rubber, his teammates expect the Cardinals to win, and Carpenter does so also.
Blake DeWitt, second baseman, strike one. Watching Carpenter here, as opposed to his last start in Colorado, very free and easy, and looks good.
Well, for whatever reason, you know, the Colorado air really affects curveballs. and you have to have a strong mindset there.
There's a liner and a fair ball by Blake DeWitt. Alan Craig over to get it.
The throwing rolls.
Might want to explain that, Al.
Blake is from Sikeston, Missouri, the home of the thrown rolls. Lambert's down there, and they're all going crazy if they're not all here.
Clayton Kershaw will be the hitter. So 1-out double by Blake DeWitt. Came in hitting .269. And that's a strike. Kershaw in the year hitting .065, no homers and an RBI. And quickly 2 strikes on Clayton Kershaw.
Gotten away with some fastballs right down the middle that now all of a sudden he gets the pitcher up and he makes a really good pitch on the spots it on the corner. Really key. And I mean, they've got a man in scoring position, but if you can retire the 9th place, the pitcher right here, and keep that man at second base. And there he cast a curveball as he can't pull down on it. Kershaw, not much of a hitter, but respect him in the batter's box.
One ball and 2 strikes with 1 out and a runner at second. And a strikeout.
Good cutter.
And that's the second of the night for Chris Carpenter. He also struck out the man who steps in, Rafael Furcal.
Furcal, you get very dangerous as for a little guy. You know, he's got a little pop in his bat. Also 35 RBIs and very dangerous hitter against the Cardinals throughout his career, and he can still run too, so he can get some leg hits. Punch him in the outfield, play pretty much straight away.
Runner at second, and little chopper that's pulled foul past first. One ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. A hot night here in St. Louis.
Kyle batting almost 400 with runners in scoring position. Even a little higher with runners on base.
We will visit with Lynn Wallace, the CEO of Wallace Oil, coming up. Bottom of the 3rd. Part of a great fundraiser put on by the Cardinals, and Mobile on the run. Throw down to second. Into center field it goes, but no damage done.
Brendan Ryan trying to sneak in behind after the throw, and Molina's such a weapon. You see how he gets back there, so he's ready for it, but a low throw right into the path of the runner trying to get back to second. Watch Blake DeWitt just kind of push off, throws Brendan Ryan to the ground, but he couldn't advance, and so no harm. That's a big target, you know, when you're standing on the mound, that when Molina wants to throw down to second, you're always worried about where the pitcher is. He going to be able to react and get out of the way. Dale Murphy was a catcher when he first came to the big leagues.
That's right.
But he had several times he drilled pitchers. See, like Carpenter gets down, and there's what you're talking about, right into the feet. of the runner. So hopefully, and luckily nobody got hurt, but Dale Murphy drilled a couple pitchers, and being the gentleman that he was, it really ended his catching career because he developed a phobia. He was so worried about hurting the pitcher.
3-1, 2-2. Quickly to first. Carpenter is through 3. 2-0 St. Louis. Can and see who's enjoying the game. Budweiser, it's what we do. Joining us up here in the booth is Len Wallace, the CEO of Wallace Oil, and tonight before the ballpark, at the ballpark before the game, a lot of fans wearing the Jackie Robinson jersey, and of course you're involved with a Mobile on the Run, right. Anheuser-Busch, and a big night for you.
It was. This was a culmination of a process that started when we had Jackie Robinson Day across Major League Baseball, and the Cardinals, working with the Cardinals and Anheuser-Busch, they're both very generous, and we were able to get the signed jerseys, 30 of the signed jerseys, to raffle off to 30 of our lucky customers who participated in buying tickets to support the Jackie Robinson Foundation.
How much money was raised? Do you have any idea?
Yes, I do. Dan, tonight we were able to give the Jackie Robinson and Cardinal Cares check for $80,000.
That's outstanding. $80,000 raised for Cardinals Care, and there's a look at Tony La Russa with Michael Hall there on Tony's left, and of course Joe Torre there as well. 1 ball, 1 strike here on Colby Rasmus. And Lynn, I know that this has been something that's been around not too long, a couple of years, but it's raised an awful lot of money. We should point out that with Cardinals Care, 100% of that money raised goes to charities, kids' charities in St. Louis.
Yes, and really the same with the Jackie Robinson Foundation. The money is used for local scholarships to be awarded for students here in St. Louis.
Have you had a chance to see some of those students and the reaction that they give you?
Yes, actually one of them, McKinley, was on the field with us, and he's a graduate, a football player from Chaminade High School, going to the University of Pennsylvania on a Jackie Robinson scholarship.
And how did you become involved with this?
A gentleman from Anheuser-Busch and some people from our company were brainstorming one night here at a Cardinal game in the AB Suite, and we just decided this would be a great way to bring Mobile on the Run and Anheuser-Busch together and do a great thing for the community.
Yeah, I know Dave Peacock of Anheuser-Busch is really behind this, and it's something that's very, very important to him and the various charities that AB is involved with. As Pujols takes a ball inside. Now, I'm assuming the number 42 that he signed, that's the one that people want, right?
Right. Well, we lay out the 30 jerseys. It's sort of like a reverse auction. So the last person standing gets the Pujols jersey.
Last person standing gets it. 1 ball, no strikes here on Albert. Tied up on that pitch, 1-1. And also mobile on the run is very important with this as well.
Yes, and it really goes down to our associates who are at our stores, at the Mobile on the Run stores every day, asking our customers to participate in this program to buy the tickets to be able to give a part of the $80,000.
Can you explain a little bit more about the Jackie Robinson Foundation? Now, it does go to kids and provides scholarships, but the involvement that they have with the various groups here in St. Louis.
Well, I think the primary purpose is for education and for scholarships. And so we're very familiar with what they do here in St. Louis. Nicole, who's from their Los Angeles office, so this is our third year, so we become good friends, and it's great to see her. But she's very proud of what we do in St. Louis, because I think across the country, this is one of the best promotions that we have to raise the funds, based on Jackie Robinson Day.
1 ball and 2 strikes here on Albert Pujols. Pujols' first time up with a single. That eventually loaded him up, and the Cardinals scored 2 first-inning runs. And, of course, it carries on the legacy of Jackie Robinson, which is so important for everyone to know.
Exactly.
So Kershaw finally will come set here on a 1-2 pitch to Pujols. Good speed out at second base, following a double by Colby Rasmus, who's on base for the second time. Fights it off, but popped up. And before I let you go, Lynn, is there a number or website people can call or go to find out more about what you're doing or to make a donation as well?
Well, we have a website, stlontheRun.com. So that's our personal website, and then Jackie Robinson Foundation has a website also.
So here in St. Louis, ontherun.com, and that'll have info on Jackie Robinson Day and all the great things that are going on with that.
Right, and I want to thank the Cardinals too, because they help us with the jerseys. All the players have signed the jerseys, so that makes it extra special. So it's not only a 42 that signifies Jackie Robinson, but it's the current Cardinal players that have signed that. So it's very meaningful.
Absolutely. I know it's a wonderful cause, and you go to the Jackie Robinson Foundation website or ontherun.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
You bet.
Pleasure.
That is Lynn Wallace, the CEO of Wallace Oil. And again, very generous folks, and we thank them very, very much. So Joe Torre wasting no time here. He will walk Matt Holliday with first base open and pitch to the youngster, Alan Craig. Alan Craig got an RBI his first time up on a ground out to short. Al is back with us. And I know you had a chance to visit with Larry Bowa and a number of the coaches for the Dodgers, if not Joe Torre. I didn't see you talking to Joe, but
he threw part of his water on me.
Well, all right, you had a chance to visit. I'm not sure it was a nice conversation after that.
Well,
but
I mean, he was on the way to go meet the media, but he was preparing himself by dousing me with some water. It actually felt pretty good.
And no surprise for him to walk Holliday here.
No, you know how many times he walked Albert, but now with Matt being hot, you know, that they're not afraid to pitch to Albert. What a good pitch Kershaw made to Albert, jamming him up and in. And then now it's, it's the same MO. You make someone else beat you. Don't, the established stars, they have a track record, and he respects them.
1-0 pitch. Craig hits it sharply to third. Casey Blake gets the great play and then a throw at second. And Holliday off the bag and is tagged out.
You've got to slide. You have to assume it's a bang-bang play. Took it for granted. Go in standing up. You've got to slow up, and then he couldn't stay on the bag.
So a double play, and it's 2-0 after 3. fine play over here at third, but what exactly happened here at second base?
Well, there's no reason in the world you should ever get a double play there. You know, one, slide into second base. You're not sure whether there's going to be a return throw or not, but when you go in standing up, you've got to slow up to get to the bag. Then when they make the throw, his momentum carries him off the bag and he gets tagged out. He was safe, but then he's trying to claim he was pushed off the bag, but he just lost his own balance. That is another aspect of the Cardinals' poor base running that you expect to see that improve in the second half.
0-2 pitch. Another curveball hit to short. Brendan Ryan up with it. Makes the play. Traveling this season, take the Cardinals with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv, and you can see every Cardinals game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Cardinals.com for details. Local in-market blackouts will apply. MLB.tv. Baseball is everywhere.
You mentioned that I was talking with the Dodgers coaching staff and Larry Bowa in particular. Larry Bowa is a big fan of Brendan Ryan, and I kind of arranged for them to talk a little bit in St. Louis, but once again, Larry, who never shy on giving his opinion, was very critical. Why did he change his batting stance?
Ethier hits this a ton. Right center field. Craig is back at the wall, and it's gone. Andre Ethier. His 15th, and it comes on the first pitch. RBI number 55. Cuts a lead to 2-1.
His 15th home run. 14 of his 15 home runs have come against right-handed pitching. Another fastball right in the middle of the plate. Those pitches are expected to be hit out of the ballpark. And when Carpenter, Wainwright, all the good pitchers, when they are on, they rarely, if ever, leave a ball in the middle of the plate, especially fastballs.
420 feet, the distance of the home run, and a strike to Manny Ramirez. Ramirez flied out to deep right first time up. And again, he hits it out to right. That'll stay in the ballpark. Alan Craig makes the catch. Two outs and nobody on. And James Loney will be the hitter. Loney grounded out to second.
Leads their club with 63 RBIs. Two for 12 against Carpenter.
Carpenter's breaking ball has been pretty sharp here tonight.
Well, it's in his ineffectiveness to locate the fastball. There's way too many strikes with it. And, you know, not quality strikes, leaving pitches in the middle, but the home run was only the second hit of this game.
2-1 the count. He's given up just 2 hits. The Cardinals with 3 base hits tonight against Clayton Kershaw. This is slicing out to left. Holiday makes the catch. It'll be Molina, Miles, and Chris Carpenter when we come back. Dodgers get on the board. It's 2-1. Tom will check in with his midseason report card. And one of the things that he did is also talk to Mark McGuire during the optional workout yesterday. And he has a story about him defending the offense. And it's a really young offense behind Albert and Matt. Still learning to hit big league pitching. Also added, it was an exciting first half for him personally, but he thinks the offense will take off in the second half. That's all at FoxSportsMidwest.com. BJ Raines.
And we both agree, don't we?
This would help. Guys like Molina, some of the others. As Manny misplays it out and left. Just so casual out there. Hall of Famer liked it. That's why Herzog there.
Well, congratulations to Whitey. His speech is coming. Well, he hit a nice line drive out to right field. It was caught, so this time he turns it around and pulls the ball out to left. That's what he's talking about. Just chest high, and Manny kind of casually nonchalant and commits the error and puts him in scoring position.
Here's Aaron Miles. Home plate umpire's not done Clayton Kershaw any favors here tonight. Strike zone's been very tough on him.
It's funny how that goes, isn't it? Where it seems like one side, the breaks will go for them and against the other team.
And that's Jerry Davis. Chris Carpenter, on the other hand, well, everything's been just fine.
Part of the reason we said he's throwing too many down the middle.
Miles, broken bat, left center, gets down. Here comes Molina, stumbling around third. To the plate, he's in there safely. Miles to second with the RBI single. Good night for Aaron Miles, 2 for 2.
Put the ball in play, and good things can happen. Not a well-hit ball. Kind of jams him a little bit, and muscles it in. And let's watch Molina. You said he stumbled, but he did catch the inside part of the bag. Good base running there, scoring on that single. And then there's another error. So single RBI, then E6, allowing Miles to get to second base, back into scoring position.
So poor defense here by the Dodgers, and another chance for Carpenter to sacrifice, which he did in the second. In the air and caught. Be a part of the first ever Cardinals Care Run Home for Kids 6K run on August 29th in honor of Stan the Man. That's why you have the 6K. And the Cardinals Care fundraiser will start at the Musial statue outside Gate 3 at Busch Stadium, ends at home plate. And if you'd like to sign up, go to cardinals.com/runhome for more information. Again, cardinals.com/runhome for information. And all those proceeds, when it heads into the hands of Cardinals Care, it gets turned around to children in St. Louis who need it most.
Beautiful night. High 90s today. Heat index 105 to 110 degrees.
I wonder what the Dodgers think when they come here and they deal with this heat. And then they look up in the seats, and this place is packed. And it's close to 100 degrees.
Well, Joe Torre played here for many years. Guys like Boa, you know, Boa was talking to one of the Dodger writers and saying that, you know, when you knew middle part of the season, you went to Cincinnati, St. Louis, it was going to be hot.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And when those of us that played when they had the turf fields and it would reach 140 degrees, cleats, rubber cleats would melt. Feel like your spikes, the metal spikes would go right up into your soles of your shoes, into your foot.
3-0 here on Brendan Ryan. Lined out to left, first time up. Looks like Russell Martin is having words with our home plate umpire.
He's doing it the professional way, where you really don't turn around face to face. The only two that can hear the conversation are catcher and umpire.
Brendan on 3-0.
If you're going to swing 3-0, you better be able to drive the ball. You know, managers today really do not like to take the bat out of a hitter's hands, but all they ask them to be is discipline to say, if you get a pitch, you've got to be able to drive it. One, it's not a strike. Two, that is a tough pitcher's pitch up and in. And looking at the results, he should not have swung.
Here's Felipe Lopez with 2 outs. Lopez, base hit, bails out Brendan Ryan. Off the sidewall. Miles will score. And that makes it 4-1 on an RBI double from Felipe Lopez.
We talked about it, a pick-me-up. Brendan Ryan really feeling bad, not coming through really in poor fashion. But if a subsequent hitter can come through in the clutch and get that 2-out base hit, then Brendan still feels bad, but it's not going to be something that you're going to go back in the game and say, look at this. And remember, you had two errors in this inning, then the Cardinals scored 2 runs.
And Colby, last time up, picked up a double. And he's also walked and scored in the first. The Cardinals had the bases loaded, nobody out in the first. They did get 2 runs. That entire inning, they had 1 base hit.
Exactly. A couple walks and then a couple of just little flares that fell in.
Check swing and strike 2. The Dodgers finally get on the board to make it 2-1 with that home run, and the Cardinals have answered now with 2 more to make it 4-1.
Dodgers, a club that hit about 270 in the first half, 10 games over 500. They'd be leading the Central Division, but they're inconsistent with their offense. You know, they'll go out at times and they'll score 8-9 runs in a game, and then they'll just have trouble scoring 1 or 2 the next couple games.
Sounds familiar.
Yes, it does. You know, these two teams, the Dodgers and Cardinals, been around a long time. Very, very highly decorated organizations. They've almost played 2,000 regular season games, and only 4 games separates their 1-loss record.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Dodgers are now, they swept the Cardinals in LA. They are now 4 games better than the Cardinals in nearly 2,000 games.
1-2 the count with 2 outs and a runner at second. 4-1 St. Louis. Oof.
One time, you're always talking about how to play the game right. Cardinal baseball at one time used to think that about the Dodgers. But then for the last 40 years or so, they have been a very porous defensive team. And they've always had outstanding pitching. And usually enough hitting to make them a competitive team every single year. These organizations very rich in tradition.
Strikeout of Colby Rasmus. Kershaw gets his first of the night. Cardinals pick up 2, and it's 4-1. visitmo.com to start planning your next Missouri getaway. This is the City Garden with a combination of world-class public art, landscaping, downtown setting. The St. Louis City Garden, unique among cultural attractions throughout the country. And if you'd like to find out more, just head to visitmo.com.
Chamber of Commerce needs to send that picture out.
Just not the temperature.
What's going down? Oh, in the 80s, but or in the low 90s.
It's warm. 4-6-0 for the Cardinals. 1-2-2 for Los Angeles. There's Casey Blake. And speaking of third baseman, Scott Cooper and Matt Whiteside, a former major leaguer. Those two have the St. Louis Gamers that they run. And they've got tryouts for ages 12 through 18, July 28th and 29th. And you can find out all the info at stlgamers.net. Good guys, Scott Cooper and Matt Whiteside, and they just had their first graduating class of kids coming through. Every one of them got a baseball scholarship.
That's great.
And two of them didn't because they didn't want to play baseball anymore. They could have, but they wanted to do something outside of baseball with their education. So they wanted to focus strictly on education, but you can find out more at stlgamers.net.
And Matt and Scott really get it. And we hope parents and young athletes understand that you play this game to get a college scholarship. Get your education.
How about first and foremost you play to have fun?
Well, that's true, but with fun, you know, you can learn an awful lot that'll help you in life experiences, but get your education, and if you get that opportunity to play professionally, do so. But it's all about getting that college education.
Nasty pitch, and there you see the righty getting loose for the Dodgers. Strikeout number 3. There's Russell Martin.
Dodgers have a pretty tight bullpen, so usually when they can get a lead, they can hold on to it.
Backs away from the breaking ball. And you may be wondering why the J is there. Full name, Russell Nathan Jensen Coltrane Martin. Hits it to the right side. And Martin is retired.
Nice play by Miles, going to his left and deep. So I'm still trying to figure out why the J.
Jensen.
Why I got that part, but why did he pick about the fourth letter? Fourth name.
Martin's dad is African Canadian. Mother was French Canadian. Singer and an actress. Name the 5 players that have appeared.
Where'd they appear?
Was trying to catch up with the trivia question. All-Star games without winning one. I figured you would help out because you were looking too.
No, I wasn't. I was looking at your computer. So it caught us both.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Albert was taken off that list, right?
Yes, he was. And Molina.
Was it more than 1 All-Star game?
Again, it was such a flash to me that I couldn't tell you the entire question.
I would have to think it would have to be a lot more than a couple because
I was throwing everything out there. Anybody that played in the National League last year, you're on the list. We just didn't have a chance to fit you on there. So most All-Star appearances without a win. 5 players that have appeared in the most All-Star games and lost them all is the AT&T trivia question. One ball and 2 strikes on Blake DeWitt. Doubled here tonight. And this time the pitch was elevated and a fly ball out to left. Holiday under it and makes the catch. To the upper deck at Synergy Field in Cincinnati in a single game. Facility which opened up 1970 was Riverfront Stadium, then was torn down after the 2002 campaign. The feat was so rare that the only other players to hit 2 upper deck home runs over the course of a full season. Kind of surprising. Were George Foster, who is at the ball game tonight, back in 1977. Also Greg Vaughn in '99.
And we forget about the very fine career that Langford had with the Cardinals. At the time of his retirement, he was almost like a top 5 in all offensive categories, including he hit the most home runs at the old Busch Stadium.
I think I saw Tommy Lasorda before the game down on the field.
And Tommy was here because he heard there was free food. And George Foster is here with a group of representatives of a Japanese club.
2-1 pitch. Pujols tonight has singled, little flare into right, and also popped out too short.
Tommy was here as part of the, I'm sure, the Jackie Robinson, the mobile on the run, what Lynn talked about.
Two pitch. Pujols sits it down the left field line, but hooks foul. Great crowd here tonight. Good seats available all weekend long. Tomorrow night, John Mabry signing autographs prior to the game. As you see the pine tar, the right shoulder from the bat of Pujols. And that's fair. Into the corner, and Manny will have to dig it out. So that time he kept it fair, and we've talked about it so many times. The uncanny ability on an inside pitch to keep it fair, or other pitches where guys would yank and foul. Pujols does not do that.
I was thinking about that when he hit the first ball foul, that we've seen him pull more balls. But this is what we're more accustomed to, seeing him catch a breaking ball that you would think you'd be out in front, but still have that ability to keep it between the white lines. And he's 2 for 3. And once again, Joe Torre will walk Pujols on a split second, but now showing respect with the way that Holiday is hitting. He's pitching to Albert and being more respectful of Matt.
Well, he walked him last time. Intentional walk to Holiday in the third. And then Craig would ground into that odd inning-ending double play.
Very odd.
So the 0-1 pitch here. Holiday, base hit into right. Here comes Pujols. Oh, they're going to hold him up. Going to hold up Pujols with first and third and have nobody out.
Respect for Ethier's throwing arm and his ability to charge that ball. Albert, one of the rare times he listened to Oquendo and held up. But even on this, little jam shot. He's so strong, inside outs the ball to right field. But Albert, even though he got the sign, the stop sign, and held up, he still came down the line about 40 feet just in case there was a poor exchange or the throw was a bit offline. Miller warming up for the Dodgers, the right-hander. Justin Miller.
Runners at first and third, and nobody out. Remember, they've had that right-hander getting loose in the bullpen.
Second different right-hander that's warmed up. And as I said, they got a pretty deep bullpen. It's one of the young kids. He's only been here for 17 games.
And Martin looking into the dugout, wondering, is this it? Do I go back out? We've already stalled a little bit.
Well, one of the things that is noteworthy is the lack of strikeouts tonight.
Just one.
Just one strikeout when you're talking about Kershaw, who came in tied for second place in the National League in strikeouts. Just gives you an indication he's a little bit off.
One pitch to Craig. 0-2.
All Allen needs is something good. Last time out, hit the ball hard. Nice play by the third baseman. And it turned it into a double play, but an odd double play. But it's he just needs a little bit of luck and feel like he really belongs here.
1-2. This is hit out to deep right center and caught on the track. Scoring easily, Pujols. 5-1 St. Louis. Alan Craig back to the big leagues. And coming out with a bang. He's got 2 RBIs tonight.
His first 2 RBIs at the big league level, and you knew that he was a much better ball player than we saw at the beginning of the season. Just really had never came off the bench, and now getting a chance, and hopefully in a platoon situation until Lundqvist comes back, and that looks like it's it for Kershaw.
So Chevy called to the bullpen, and Justin Miller making the trot in for the bullpen in left field. Yadier Molina will be the hitter when we come back. It's 5-1 Cards. 5, and it's 5-1. Kershaw lifted from this game by Joe Torre, runner at first, and only one out. Yadier Molina with a line out, also a single and a run scored. And what do we know about the righty Justin Miller?
When you have a name like that, what you're trying to say is it the same Justin Miller that we've seen in the past, and it is. Last year is with San Francisco. We've also seen him in the National League with Florida and in the American League with Toronto. He started the season at Albuquerque, pitched well, but has struggled of late. He's allowed 10 runs and 23 plus innings in a box called.
It's big with Molina at the plate to take that potential double play out of the mix.
See him start his motion, and then he tried to fake it by stepping off, but the balk was called as he started to come to the plate. Or can't stop in that fashion and then decoy it by stepping off.
0-1 pitch to Yachty. Casey Blake makes the play.
Would have been a double play, but the balk keeps the inning alive.
Build-A-Bear Workshop Day is just around the corner, and that'll be when the Cardinals on August 1st will take on the Pirates. Fans ages 12 and under receive a bear from the Build-A-Bear Workshop, outfitted in that jersey right there, the 1985 Ozzie Smith replica jersey. Cardinals.com. That's also a busy weekend with the Vince Coleman bobblehead night on Friday and the Whitey Herzog bobblehead day on Saturday, and then the Build-A-Bear Workshop Day. So if you're thinking about bringing your family in out of state, maybe, as we have a lot of Cardinal fans do that, that might be the right time to do it.
We got our first look at the Vince Coleman bobblehead, and
stunning.
Be a welcome addition to all fans' display cases. Vince looks a lot slower in his retirement.
Intentional walk to Aaron Miles. So here is the Vince Coleman bobblehead, and this will be on Friday night, July 30th. Then the 31st, Whitey, and then the Build-A-Bear. There you go.
I've already put in my request for one.
Deerbergs and Coke put this on, and he's in the 1985 uniform, and number 29 Coleman on the back.
Wasn't he a fun guy to watch?
Here's Carpenter with 2 outs.
Still never forget the game in Chicago when Vince Coleman and Willie McGee combined for 4 stolen bases on one play.
That's right. Here's a ground ball to second. So again, it's a busy weekend, July 30th, 31st, and August 1st. Build-A-Bear and bobbleheads. don't know where Tony West finds these guys. Cardinals baseball brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. By Lumiere Casino. Every time the Cardinals win, the next day get a free buffet with a purchase of one at the kitchen at Lumiere Place. Visit My Choice for details. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Apparently, Tony West went over with his camera just to shoot some of the beauty shots that you find at Forest Park. And this gentleman
just showed up, huh?
breaks out the fire. Pretty talented to do that.
Garrett Anderson will pinch hit here. What a distinguished and tremendous career in the American League, and primarily a pinch hitter here. He's hitting a little better now than when we saw him out in L.A., but boy, he was an outstanding player for many, many years. John Jay now takes over in right field, as you'll see that probably be the platoon. Alan Craig and John Jay.
Carpenter very efficient and sharp here tonight. Just 2 base hits allowed as we play here in the top of the 6th. It's a foul ball.
Garrett, 3-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger recipient. Almost 2,400 hits, almost 1,300 RBIs.
Carpenter's got it. Underhands to Pujols. And let's go pitch by pitch. Carpenter to Garrett Anderson.
Getting up there a little bit in age, so we'll see how quick the bat speed is. Pumps a fastball, gets ahead of him the count with that. Then he tries the curveball, backdoor it. Another breaking ball, the curveball. Then they come in here. Will it be the cutter or fastball? Fastball, he had a good rip. And then another fastball, and just bounces back to Carpenter, who's pitched very effectively. Only 2 hits allowed.
How well did you know George Steinbrenner, if at all, Al?
Very little. And I went to free agent, and back then, initially, and I think this is a rule they should have kept. Initially, you could only be drafted by 13 clubs, and it kind of went from the bottom clubs on up. And Whitey made a valid point. He said, why do all these clubs allow the Yankees to have the top free agents? They set it up to where if the bottom 13 clubs drafted, say it was a Gossage or Reggie Jackson, whoever it was, then you could keep the Yankees from acquiring him.
Backhanded by Pujols. Carpenter there.
And, the agents would go tell you, hey, don't draft this guy. We're not going to sign with you. We're not going to sign him. Well, if 13 clubs, bottom 13 draft him, he's going to have to sign with one of them. But the agents would scare off the clubs, and then they would sit there, and George would be sitting there with his bags of money. I asked Phil Niekro, played with Phil in Atlanta, and he went to New York late in his career, and I said, what's George like? And he said, Al, if you come out there, work hard, give an honest effort, he's fine. He stays out of your way. He demands a lot and he expects to win.
From a player's perspective, you'd have to love him because he spent money to try to win.
He spent money. He gave you all the resources to win. Tried to put together a tremendous ball club, and it's not easy for some personalities to play in New York, but I think George kind of came almost with a football mentality and demanded a lot from the players, but you'd like to think players and your teammates demand the same.
Curveball taken high.
Looked like a pretty good pitch right there, but in fairness, I think the Dodgers have had many more pitches taken away from them than Carpenter.
Count is 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on. Kemp just tapped it foul.
As good as he has pitched, he's made a lot of pitches I'm sure he's not happy with in the middle of the plate. And at times that cutter really has not done a lot. And a lot of fastballs in the heart of the plate. But they only have 2 hits.
And a check swing and a strike. 4 strikeouts tonight for Chris Carpenter. Pitcher Bob Gibson, 68%. We appreciate the votes. Nearly 200 of those came in tonight in the U.S. Cellular text poll.
I must say, some young people do not know who Don Drysdale was.
Apparently. Don't forget, after the game, it'll be Pat Paris, Rick Horton, live from the Aqua Bar at Lumiere Place. And that's Cardinals Live coming up after our ball game here. Bob Gibson, the Hall of Famer.
Well, they were smart enough to get the answer right. And boy, was he intimidating.
This is Travis Schlichting in our Chevrolet called to the bullpen.
He's pitched very well. He's been up and down 3 different times this season. Sinker ball. Fired 14 innings this season, allowed just 1 run on 11 hits, 10 singles and a double.
Walt Jocketty may not have to make a move at the trade deadline to improve his rotation. Blake to his left and gets Brendan Ryan. Edison Volquez will start this weekend against the Colorado Rockies. 6 is a series number. Cardinals score 6. You get a 20-ounce coffee found in a frozen drink for just a quarter the next day at On the Run at Mobile. Win or lose, Cardinals score 6. You score 25-cent drinks at On the Run.
Thinking of Volquez is like a former All-Star, coming back from Tommy John surgery. Homer Bailey's probably close to coming back. And then they got Chapman, who now they've converted to a reliever. That's where they need some help, but down there in that bullpen. And a hard-throwing Cuban defector might be a real plus there. They're not going away.
Roland has been big. Votto and Roland both have had MVP-type years. Cabrera's been good at shortstop.
Cardinals, if memory serves, it's we've already played them 12 times.
Two away. Dodgers Cardinals, what's on tap? Presented by Budweiser. Come your way at 6:30 tomorrow.
With the Phillies.
They scored 2 in the top of the first at Chicago, but
They trail 6-2 as they're having, with that very good offense, having trouble scoring.
Matchup tomorrow, Jaime Garcia and Chad Billingsley. Wainwright and Corona on Saturday. Suppan against Vicente Betia on Sunday. Oh, 1 pitch. Hit to first and a 1-2-3 inning. As we head to the 7th, St. Louis here at home leads it 5-1. Top of the 7th. Carpenter at 76 pitches tonight. Our director tonight, famous author Tom Mee. Read his book at cuttingthegame.com.
Boy, I'm sure Frank and Bessie Lou Huffman, 2 90-year-olds that are in a nursing home. They love watching the Cardinal games, and I'm sure they'll love reading that book, Cutting the Game, and then they'll know it all.
Might help them go to sleep. There's a liner out to left. Holiday can't get it. He tracked it.
Nice play, though. He took a chance sliding and hoping that that ball slicing away from him would not elude him. He tried to sell the catch, and it was a trap, but a nice play to make sure the ball doesn't get by him.
Now, you know I don't mean that, Al.
Oh, I know you do.
We might put people to sleep, but Cutting the Game will not. Page by page, you thumb through it, you won't believe what's inside.
There are very few pitchers.
It actually is a very interesting read. Here's Manny Ramirez. So Ethier, runner at first. Here's Manny. Big decision for the Dodgers after this year. What to do, if anything, with Manny Ramirez, who wants to play beyond this year.
Still is a favorite among his teammates, a real fan favorite. You can market him, and a very productive bat.
Manny hits it into left center. Holiday over to make the catch. Fires it back into first base.
On that, that's what it takes. Everyone's got to pull it up and down a notch and take your game to the next level.
Carpenter wound up backing up first base.
Well, Matt's got to try and do these things. You know, we've seen Manny at times be a little lackadaisical, so you know it's a good opportunity to get a catch guy napping. He was not. Carpenter doing his thing, making sure to back up. That throw was a little offline. He's in position to keep him from going to second.
Al, you were talking about maybe bullpen help being an issue for Cincinnati down the stretch. Fine play there made by Holiday. Understanding is that Russ Springer may get signed by the Cincinnati Reds. Hasn't pitched all year.
Right.
Certainly you'd have to think he's kept himself in good shape, been throwing on the side. And
well, and there's
he's a fresh veteran coming down the stretch. Why not?
And there's, because of his success here in St. Louis, Walt Jocketty feels it'd be worth it. You know, you give a guy a tryout and you say, hey, I'll give you 3 weeks to get in shape. If you do well at AAA, so be it. You know, it's a low cost, high return.
One out, runner at first. Carpenter would love the double play here. Loney has lined out to left and grounded out to second. Big series with the White Sox and the Twins over in the American League.
Having some fun. White Sox lead the ball game. Bottom of the fifth inning up in Minnesota, but it's 7-6.
That's one team that probably did not want to see the All-Star break, the White Sox. Won 8 straight, 9-1 in their last 10.
Lost Jake Peavy for the season.
Kenny Williams, their general manager, came out and said, I believe we're a better team, but if you don't show it, trades are coming, and they turned it around very quickly.
Sometimes the threat of losing your job is a great motivation.
2-2.
Sometimes a player just needs to have that face-to-face where, you know, maybe his teammates step up and say, hey, look, you're not pulling your weight around here. Bo and I were talking about how very few teams today have that veteran present where they police themselves. Or Larry was saying several times he's had teammates come up to him and said, you know, hey, this guy's not doing this or doing it. So you take care of it. Players have a tendency to listen to their teammates a lot easier.
Double play ball. Miles. Ryan to first. The tag is there by Pujols. 4-6-3 on the double play. Time to stretch. 5-1. game summary. Chris Carpenter thus far, 7 innings, 3 hits. He's allowed 1 earned run. That was a home run that he allowed. And Alan Craig picking up his first Major League RBI in the first. And another one coming up. He had 2 on the night. Then he was lifted for John Jay. Nearly hit that out of the ballpark for a 3-run homer. There's Albert Pujols. Jammed him just a bit. Really pitched him tough inside. Good luck to Lauren McCauley, tonight's merchandise winner. The Hyundai Lawn Drive inning sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run, Lauren McCauley qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer.
Matt, 1 for 2. Was intentionally passed. Also an RBI ground out. As his numbers are starting to get up there. This guy's got a pretty good sinker. He's only been getting ground balls, hasn't he?
4 up and 4 down.
All 4 ground balls, noted as a sinker ball pitcher. But his works.
5th batter, he's thrown 9 pitches so far, up and into Holiday. One out and 2 balls and no strikes.
He's 25 years of age. And out of Denver, Colorado.
Last 4 months, see, he had 324 in May, but just 1 home run. Then last 2, he's had 11 home runs. RBIs have picked up as well.
And that really is his track record. Summer heats up, his bat does too.
Boy, he and Albert, when they get into one and center the baseball, it just jumps off their bat, more so than many other players in the league.
Both of them extremely strong, particularly Matt. And the interesting thing about them is, even though they hit for great power, they really are high average contact hitters. But because of their superior strength, they can really drive the baseball and hit their home runs.
2-2 the count. No activity in the Cardinals bullpen. The next 2, Holiday. You have to like what you've seen so far from this righty.
Yes, you know, he's ground ball pitchers. They can make some money in this game, and they can be in high demand.
Joel Pinheiro comes to mind. The kind of contract that he signed at the end of last year, parlayed a very fine year, couple of years really with the Cardinals, and turned that into a deal with Anaheim. Visit Busch Bash prior to every Friday home game in the Ford Plaza. Live music, player appearances, and tomorrow will feature former Cardinal John Mabry. Specific details, future player appearances, just visit cardinals.com/promotions. Also, here we are. If you're starting to think about summer around the, or rather school around the corner and summer ending, get your kids to the ballpark. $7 seats all season long.
Hottest hitter in the National League right now, John Jay.
Cardinals, by the way, on some of these Busch Bashes have lined up Hall of Famers. Red Shandies is going to do one. Ozzie Smith another. Whitey Herzog will do one night. Pretty good collection.
John Jay extended his National League best hitting streak to 11 games. He started 11 games, hit safely in all of them at a .486 clip. He had 500, 11 for 22 on the road trip.
Hit streak, of course, something you talk about right now with John Jay. Continued in Colorado and in Houston. Right now he's hitting .377 on the year.
He's 7 for 17, a .411 average as a pinch hitter. And then when he's got the chance to start, he's hit in he's successfully in every start. So he's a young man that was sent down when he really wasn't going to get enough playing time, and because of injuries got a second recall and really has opened up some eyes.
2-1 pitch. We saw the right-hander here you know, his cleat caught on the mound. And one thing that Bill Finley will do, the groundskeeper here at the ballpark, is he's one guy that actually talks to the players, and they will tell him and give him input on what they feel is good with the mound, bad with the mound, playing surface, all those kind of things to benefit the club. Runner goes, and that's a base hit. Into the corner. Manny will have to dig it out yet again. Holiday can just walk on home, and John Jay delivers again. 6-1 St. Louis.
Fifth spot in the order. The two rookies have combined with 3 of the 6 RBIs tonight. Holiday running on the pitch so easily, came around to score. That ball got up a little bit, sinkers, but they don't move quite the same way. And they kind of slide across the zone, and good piece of hitting. As Holiday comes around, John Jay has a 12-game hitting streak, tops in the National League.
Carpenter and Holiday there, a couple of all-stars.
You know, I go back to, you know, it's fine to pitch a guy carefully and is swinging the bat like Holiday is. But if you're a sinker baller, what are you worried about? Throw your best pitch. Well, you know, if they get a base hit, it's going to be a single because they're going to pound it at the ground. Remember, he came in with, what, 11 base hits, 10 singles, and 1 double. So just go ahead and get your ground ball. Don't walk anybody. Sometimes you can pay too much respect to a hitter.
1 ball, 1 strike. Yadier Molina. 1 for 3 tonight. $41,771 tonight. And temperatures reached near 100 degrees, and heat index was over 100. Molina chops one up the middle. Base hit. John Jay will score. Cardinals having some fun tonight. 7-1. Yachty a 2-hit night.
34th RBI for Yachty. And as you mentioned, 2-hit night. He also lined out his first time out to right field, hitting the ball very well. So a good start to the second half. Set up inside, the ball's down and away, got the ground ball, but it just goes over the mound and on through. But that's what I'm talking about. You know, throw the ball. If they get base hits, they're still going to be singles. And it all started with a 2-out walk.
Aaron Miles won tonight. Walk,
excuse me.
With a pair of base hits and an intentional walk. Tony La Russa playing the matchup of Miles against Kershaw, and it paid off.
He was 3 for 6 against Kershaw. That's how he got the start.
And the rare intentional walk to Miles.
His average is up to 351.
Again, you go back to how Tony La Russa keeps guys sharp. Bench guys, John Jay, Aaron Miles. Chance to play, chance to see live pitching, not just BP.
I've said it many times. I admire the way Tony, he understands that injuries happen to all ball clubs, and he makes sure that he just dwells on what he has and not what he's missing. And just will not allow his team to make any excuses, and talks about the opportunities it creates.
Changeup that time out in front, strikes out.
Pulled the string there, 86 miles an hour, but good arm action on it. Throwing that sinker about 93, and Carpenter a well-deserved hand.
Carpenter a foul ball. Chris Carpenter, 86 pitches tonight. 60 have been strikes.
Carpenter trying to pick up his 10th victory of the season. Lowers ERA. It's under 3.2 now, and he feels like he hasn't contributed a bit.
Thinking along with Tony La Russa, you wonder how much longer he'll likely stay here with Chris Carpenter in this game. Maybe one more inning.
It's a very good point, Dan, because the one thing you always worry about is with the All-Star break, it's a long layoff for your relievers.
Right.
And you got a nice, comfortable lead. So tell Carpenter, a hot night like this, you know, one more maybe at the most.
It's sharply to third across the diamond. Blake, low throw. And Carpenter back to the mound when we come back. We played 7 here at Busch Stadium. It's 7-1. All here at the ballpark on this date in baseball, 1962, the Cabot Woodstein legendary performance. Stan establishes a new National League record with his 10,428th career at bat, finished with 10,972. Would surpass Honus Wagner's mark, which was set in 1917.
330 plus batting average for his career.
Take a look at our fan of the game and a photo submitted by Melanie Shepard of Springfield, Missouri, the winner of our fan of the game photo contest. Melanie wins a full air conditioning service from Dave Sinclair Automotive Group. Every week, a new contest with a new winning photo. Just head to foxsportsmidwest.com to send us your photos and enter to win.
Boy, Keith O'Brien is jealous of that young man. The foam finger collection. You had your head down. You didn't see that he had a.
I was reading the copy. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see the foam finger. But yes, Keith O'Brien, who works in our truck, is a collector of foam fingers.
I think he's submitting his collection to the world's record. It's that extensive. Maybe the only one of its kind.
Casey Blake. 0-2. Blake has flied out, also struck out looking.
Casey's been struggling of late. He's over 2 in this game, so now he's 5 for his last 33. It's all in July. Boy, he's come up with some big hits. And he plays very well defensively.
1-2 pitch. Curveball. Tapped foul.
Had a monster game against the Cardinals last year.
So important now. You get back from the break just to set the tone with this series, with Carpenter on the mound, which he has struggled a little bit here lately. It sets the tone for him personally here in the second half.
It was this year in that 12-4 Dodger win.
It's a cutter again and a strikeout.
Oh, excuse me, that was Blake DeWitt that had the career-high 5 RBI game. And there's a good cutter. That has been the pitch that's been inconsistent this season, which has led to not having that good downward action or keep it on the corners or away, and led to a lot of his home runs. And if you miss, take advantage of a pitch like that just kind of slipped, got away from him, but puts a little fear in the batter. Bob Gibson, and he talked to you about this, that in spring training, Bob told me that he went to Carpenter and said, you know, you're a great pitcher and you have real good control. You ought to pitch more inside, and pitch inside like that for effect. And then how good was that make your cutter going down and away? Nobody's going to reach across the plate if they have that fear factor inside.
That pitch was left up and a base hit for Martin.
See, that was a cutter that really didn't do anything. And just a good cutter is only going to break a couple inches. But it looks like a fastball, and then you're trying to miss a round bat. My apologies to Blake DeWitt in that 12-4 Dodger win, the first game out in L.A. We had the career high 5 RBIs.
Double tonight for DeWitt. Also flied out to left.
Talked about how Joe Torre and his staff really liked Blake DeWitt, but last season he was sent up and down 6 different times.
Yeah.
And one time,
in the air out to center. Colby back with room.
Time earlier this year, Joe called him into his office and he thought he was going to be sent out. And he was like, no. I want to come in and I want to praise you. You're not going anywhere this year.
You would have to think that Carpenter would probably go to the dugout following this inning, if everything goes to plan, and plead his case to complete this game.
Carpenter is very good. You know, he's a warrior out there. He's fiercely competitive. But the one good thing from a manager's standpoint is when a manager says, okay, that's it, he doesn't say a word. He accepts that and doesn't go and lobby for personal fame. You don't get paid anymore for complete games. Now, that is un-Gibson-like.
There's Belliard. Couple of home runs, 14 RBIs, 222 average.
Came over from Washington late last season. You know, he believe hit 350 plus. And had some good days with the Cardinals. Very much. And we go back to that play in San Diego when I believe it was the first game of the league championship division series, and he made a play in right field playing second base, playing so deep that probably saved that ball game, and Cardinals went on and won their 10th World Championship.
There's the 0-2 to Belliard. Well, he's just seen breaking ball after breaking ball outside portion of the plate. So now an even 100 pitches thrown by Chris Carpenter.
So great ratio. And in this heat, you know, with the 7-1 lead, the aspect that we talked about, guys Needs some work in that bullpen. Finish this game, I think he's finished for the night. It would make a lot of sense.
There it is again. He strikes him out. With a big night for Chris Carpenter here at home. 7-1 St. Louis. Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By the Mitsubishi Lancer. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Chris Carpenter during the break, getting the high fives and the handshakes. Gives the impression his night is through, and Cardinals do have a right-hander throwing in the bullpen.
Looks like it's Mitchell Boggs. And makes perfect sense to give an inning to the bullpen.
This is George Sherrill, the former closer in the American League with Baltimore.
Came over from Baltimore late last season and had a spectacular finish to 09. And this season was on the disabled list for a couple weeks with a lower back strain, but he has had his problems with an ERA over 7. And watch how he sets up from the first base side, but really exaggerates, really looking into the Cardinal first base dugout.
Ryan doesn't know where it is, and it's popped up into shallow right. That's the first out here in the bottom half of the 8th. Marty Sprite cut of the game. How about John Jake extending his hitting streak with this double in RBI?
Went with the pitch, high sinker, out of way, and double in there. He has the National League's longest hitting streak at 12 games. Felipe has had a big hit in this ball game, an RBI double. Scored the first run of the game when he reached on a walk. Watch how Sherrill, he almost looks like he's throwing into the Cardinal dugout, the first base dugout. So really got to throw across his body, use a lot of effort to get that ball. And I would imagine really has trouble getting the ball inside the right-handed batters.
One and two.
He'll do a good job of hiding the baseball. And that's a big part of hitting is hitters go up there and they want to see the release point. If you can see it clearly, the release point, you're well on your way. But if you hide the baseball and the hitter doesn't pick it up until after it's released. You know, it makes it that much tougher. Of course, he doesn't throw particularly hard. A lot of breaking balls.
Back at it again tomorrow night, 6:30 here on Fox Sports Midwest. Bush Bash Friday here at the ballpark. A good seat still available. Moving right by him at 88. So 2 up and 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Randy Wynn will pinch hit for Colby Rasmus.
Colby off of his sore leg, hamstring, get Wynn in a bat, and he's really seen his playing time diminish with John Jay's success.
Also want to remind folks, Sunday, Family Sunday here at the ballpark, Six Flags Day. After the game, kids can run the bases, so should have some fun this weekend with the Dodgers.
Cardinal victory knocks $5 off on an outfield terrace reserve seat. Every victory in this 8-game homestand will knock off $5. You could be going to any Monday through Thursday game in August for free with a successful homestand.
2-2.
Brad Penny talking with Carpenter, and I talked to Brad before the game. He did see Dr. Andrews during the break, and he said it's just going to take time. You know, he's such a big man, such thick muscles, and you know, you had the one setback, but now the Cardinals feel that Kyle Loesch will be pitching for them quicker than Penny.
Wynn, a base hit into right. 3-2 pitch. Randy Wynn connects with a base hit into right field. And the fans are happy because many have stuck around to see if maybe we can get one more glimpse at number 5.
There will be a pitching change. Link will come in and face the great Albert Pujols. So Joe trying to get a good outing for Sherrills and get him started in the right direction. Second half will bring in a young right-hander. We'll take a break. Cardinals have a nice lead, 7-1.
And for those that have stuck around, they'll get a look at Albert Pujols one more time. Since 2004 in St. Louis, this is regular season. These two teams, Redbirds have really played well. 17 wins to only 4 losses.
They won 3 out of 4 in St. Louis last season. Beating the Dodgers in all facets. And they got a nice lead here tonight.
This is Link who's into the ball game, a right-hander.
Second time the Cardinals have ever seen Link.
Two 2-0 with 2 outs. Pujols has a double and a single tonight. Average has jumped up to 311. Turn him loose. Albert is closing in now on 400 home runs. $13 away.
This right-hander enters his first season with the Dodgers after 5 years in the White Sox and Padres organization. Part of the Juan Pierre trade back in 2009.
Three and 2. Runner from first, Randy Wynn, off with the pitch. Time is called. Cardinals picked up 2 in the first, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and 2 more in the seventh. They lead it 7-1. Base hit for Albert and a 3-hit ninth. Extends it to Holiday.
You're worried about Albert's batting average being down. Still in the top 10, and he's added to it now with 3 hits here tonight. Just a line drive, vicious line drive out into left field as that ball was up the top of the strike zone, and he can turn on that pitch with the best of them.
Mercedes-Benz Exmo Cam. 2 outs, 2 on for Matt Holliday. Walked and scored. He is single. Has an RBI. That was back in the first. Also intentionally walked.
Average right at 301, so he's about 16 points below his career batting average. And noted for torrid second halves.
That scoots away. Runners advance to second and third.
Wild pitch, and Russell Martin had really no chance, but you're anticipating a breaking ball coming in to a right-handed batter, and thrown so, or actually thrown away, but thrown so poorly. And
2-2. Good cut by Holiday.
Just enough inside to tie him up a little bit. That's a lot quicker now on the inside pitches as he's made an adjustment. And it'll be a matter of time before advanced scouts or the video technicians take note of that and devise a different way to attack him, and then he'll have to counter again.
That's what makes these guys, though, the elite of baseball over the years. The track record and the fact that they throw the kitchen sink at these guys and they make the adjustment. Three-two pitch. Holiday, 2-second. Sends us to the 9th. The game that has been all St. Louis, 7-1. Carpenter allowed just 4 hits. And a look at the National League standings this year. Atlanta by 4.5 over New York and Philly. Phillies lose again. Cardinals, if they can win here, would be a half game back. And then you see on the right the remainder of their schedules against the East, Central, and West. And the West all coming here. Cardinals are done out west.
And the Cardinals trying to go 13 games over 500 at home. 7 overall for the season, but 13 over 500 at home.
Top of the lineup, Rafael Furcal. And Boggs first pitch is hit out of play. And again, Carpenter just magnificent here tonight. So he gets the first start of the second half and pitches a gem. 4 hits in his 8 innings.
Well, Mitchell Boggs had a very, very good first half. Last couple months he has been very special. And at one time this season we used to talk about his lack of command. You don't talk about that anymore, as he's throwing strikes and quality strikes every time out.
Lefty for the Cardinals looks like Trevor Miller getting loose in the bullpen.
It is. Randy Wynn stays in the game. He's playing center field now.
One of those things where, as you mentioned before, Al, your bullpen is coming off the All-Star break, and you obviously want to get guys some work, and this is one way to do it.
Interesting where Furcal, the switch hitter, much better hitter from the left side. And he could have, brought in Miller for one batter, then brought in Boggs, who strikes out Furcal, and got both of them a little work.
1 out and nobody on, and we turn to our player of the game presented by Budweiser. Alan Craig recalled and picks up his first 2 career RBIs.
The second one he'll talk more about than the first, as he almost hit the ball out to center, picking up an RBI, and the first one was on the ground out, but they couldn't turn 2.
And a swing and a miss by Matt Kemp.
The Dodgers are involved in a very tight pennant race, and it looks like the Padres' plan of being competitive enough that they wouldn't be sellers may come to fruition.
After watching Colorado last week, even though that they're not healthy, Tulowitzki out, Helton is out, hasn't had a Helton type year. They're pretty good.
Well, I remember when we were in Los Angeles, the Dodger scout told me that Colorado is a very, very good ball club. They're much aware of them. They sure wouldn't quit against the Cardinals, would they?
Boggs, no, they win those two tremendous comeback wins. Boggs picks up his second strikeout.
Just overpowering stuff as throws the ball right by some good hitters.
But they're only going to get healthier. And again, you haven't had anything really out of Helton. Tulowitzki's an all-star. You get him back in that lineup. Watch out. Right now, though, the Cardinals worried about finishing this game off, and they themselves getting healthier, too.
Of course, the Dodgers know all about Jim Tracy and what a good manager he is. But they're very happy with Joe Torre.
Boggs 2 strikes away from striking out the side and ending this game, giving Carpenter his 10th win. And for the Cardinals, it would be win number 48.
She's ready to cheer. They both are.
A 1 pitch. In the air. Deep left center. Playable. Win is there. Chris Carpenter 10-3. The Cardinals go to 48 and 41. Good work by Boggs to finish it up. 3 up and 3 down. Post-game show coming up. Cardinals win the first game after the break. 7-1 here tonight.